cause. Dealing with the condition itself is not enough.
Dear Mr. Massa, I'm just trying to mind my own business. What's the matter? It's just another day, another black king captured. I'm about to lose my brain, stuck inside this ghetto rapture. I got a lot of smoke. If you want it, you can have it. They want a hat trick, but this is black girl magic. Ain't talking about the kind that'll make you disappear, but I'm talking about the power of the melanin within. Ain't looking for trouble, but I'ma say this one time. I put two dukes up if you try to touch mine. We still want justice for Samir and Trayvon. You say you don't see color, but racism ain't blind. They targeting little kids whose skin look just like mine. So I'm paranoid, it's a war zone outside. And I'm a black queen, so if you ask me to step out of my car, you gon' have to snatch me. Cause I ain't going no damn well. Had to spend my whole life living unfair. Ancestors got my back and they right here. You can never understand, it's a nightmare. Living in my black shoes by the black rules. You can keep your handshake, I don't dap coons. The white man that go nuts if he cash you. But you all on his side like a damn fool. Make it make sense.
We are oppressed.
Queen.
We are exploited. We are downtrodden.
Make it make
We are
sense.
denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Ahmadiyyah.
So the only way we're going to get some of this
Ahmadiyyah.
oppression and exploitation
Queen.
away from us or aside from us is come together
Queens.
against the common enemy. Who taught you to hate the texture of your
Ahmadiyyah.
hair? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin?
Ahmadiyyah.
Parents, pay attention to the books, the school system, even to your little children. Lies mixed with wisdom. His skin too bright, so he was blind to the prison. My skin just right, so I collide with division. You trying to pray to God, but we tired of religion. No savior saving, we got to save our savings. We used to pay miss, how we gon' make the slave rich? But who's to blame, and tell me why you complaining? We need a team effort just to rule the nation. Like a bad relationship, missing communication. We missing moderation. They're trying to get a poison to my population. No reparations. I'm getting tired of Satan.
We are oppressed.
I'm
Queen.
getting tired of waiting.
We are downtrodden.
Queen.
We are denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
All right, Grand Rising, everyone. Thanks for tuning back in once again to the original Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur show. I'm your host, Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur, and this is your morning wake-up call. So as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click that notification bell and click the word all so you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. Okay, don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Dr._A_Shakur, TikTok at Dr. A Shakur, and Twitter at DGoddess27. All right, and if you don't like what the Queen is cooking, you already know what to do. Hello, Sandra, Samantha, Kajima is in the house, Desi X, love her, True Snow, 504 Nola, Anita Harrell, Claudette. All right, let's get into it. Stacy, Latasha. Okay, so shout out to all my loyal royals and everyone tuned into the Queen. Let's get this party started. Now, for those of you who missed the broadcast last night, I came back and talked about those drones. Okay, so be sure to check that out. Hello, Giggles. Okay, so let's get into it because there's a whole bunch going on with this case with Jay-Z and Diddy. All right, so now, funny thing is, Jay-Z's attorney is now saying, they're saying that Jay-Z wasn't friends with Diddy like that. There's no long time bond. Okay, they weren't down like that. So let's talk about it. And make sure you get those likes up. Thank you. So there's no long time bond. Just because he knew him doesn't mean they were friends, they say. Jay-Z's legal team continues to fight back against allegations made by an anonymous woman represented by attorney Tony Buzbee. Now, Alex Spiro, Jay-Z's lawyer, has made it clear that his client is not connected to Sean Diddy Combs in any significant way, despite efforts to draw parallels between the two music moguls. Well, I find that interesting. I find that all very interesting. They're not friends. They were never road dogs. They weren't hanging out like that. And, you know, speaking of parallels, don't forget that just the other day I told you, which we all knew, but I just reminded you guys how both of them were equally in trouble back in 1999, in serious trouble that could have, you know, really ruined their careers. And yet here they both are again, since we're talking about parallels. Now, in a statement to NBC, Spiro dismissed any notion of a close bond between Jay-Z and Diddy, asserting that there's no friendship or long-time bond here. Just because they knew each other doesn't mean anything. That's what he said. I don't think that was too smart. Okay, these guys were clearly friends. Just because they knew each other doesn't mean anything, he says. Now, the legal problem stems from allegations of rape leveled against Jay-Z, accusations that he has adamantly denied. And according to Spiro, the claims lack credibility and key details of the accuser's story remain unsubstantiated. Notably, individuals referenced in the accusations, including the woman's own father, have been unable to corroborate her account. Now, Spiro also reiterated his client's innocence and called for the case to be dismissed. He says, Mr. Carter speaks for himself, and he speaks from a position of strength because he's completely innocent, and these claims are obviously false. But it is upsetting. Nobody wants to hear these things. We expect Mr. Carter to be cleared of this in the upcoming days. Now, Jay-Z's team has filed a motion as part of their legal strategy. Filed a motion as part of their legal strategy. And they cite the importance of transparency in addressing the allegations. Spiro also addressed the impact of the case on Jay-Z's reputation, saying this case needs to be dismissed and Mr. Carter's name needs to be fully cleared. Well, I agree. If he's innocent, they absolutely should be. And he says that Jay-Z and Diddy, their relationship was purely professional. There was no closer association. And so people need to stop just trying to paint this narrative that they were friends and that they were hanging out and that they were just doing things together, because that's not even the case. It was all about business. Okay. They had a business relationship, according to his attorney, Spiro. And that's what it is. He says, just like in all professions, people know each other. Now, at the music awards, they support each other. If you go to the NBA All-Star game, they support each other. That's just how professions work. There's no closer association between any of them. That's also a matter of fiction. He said it's fiction, you guys. He said it's fiction. Mr. Carter has nothing to do with Mr. Combs. He has nothing to do with Mr. Combs' case. They simply knew each other professionally for many years, for a number of years. Y'all hear that? I don't know why he told that lie and who he thinks is going to fall for it. I don't know who he thinks is going to fall for that. Okay? That's given him, as far as I'm concerned, a bit of a lack of credibility. I'm sorry. He should never have said that, because it's absolutely not true. They were friends. Now, what he should have said if he were smart is that, they've been friends over the years, but lately, the past few years, they've not been hanging out. Well, I know why he doesn't want to say that, because all of these allegations stem from years ago. But how's he going to that's not a good look to sit up there and lie, because it's clearly a lie. We have all these pictures of them at parties, and he's talking about if they see each other at a game, they've literally gone to games together. Sir. You're not making any sense. Do you all remember this? Hold on. They're not friends. They're just business professionals. Hold on, but wait. Because y'all know I got the receipts. What does he call this? It's me now. You're my truth now. I'm here to speak and make it clear. I'm sorry, y'all, for all I've done, but I'm not the only one in a dark place. I rest my case. I rest my case. Now, I'm sorry, that's just one lie he shouldn't have told. Life said that's a whole montage. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. Alex Spiro should have said that Jay-Z does not condone the behavior of his friend Shakur. That is a very good, thorough, and professional statement, beloved. That's exactly what he should have said. That's what he should have said. And you know what would have been even better? If Jay-Z had in fact said that, or his attorney had said that before there were allegations against him. You see, here's where it comes in, where all of these celebrities who were silent who didn't bother to say anything to say that they didn't condone Diddy's behavior, to speak out against him, and made them look like maybe they were in some way culpable. Maybe they had something to do with it. Maybe they had something to hide. Jay-Z's team, he should have had them issue a statement for him in the very beginning. Although I've been friends with Sean Combs for many years, just like you said, I do not condone the behavior of my friend. That was perfect. That was perfect. I wish you'd sent that to his lawyer because he sure could have used it. At the end of the day, now he's just looking like a liar who lies. Okay? That's what that's looking like. How are you going to say that that man wasn't friends with him when we have all of this video footage and all these parties and things that he attended? And there's proof of it. They weren't just supporting each other professionally. Okay? They were bros. So Jay-Z's lawyer eviscerates S assault accusations, pokes holes in alleged victim's timeline. Obviously, he did not rape a child. That's what he says. So now he's completely destroying Buzbee's case. Jay-Z's attorney ripped allegations that the hip-hop mogul raped a 13-year-old nearly 25 years ago as not credible, while highlighting the growing number of inconsistencies that have surfaced since the lawsuit was filed. Saying obviously Jay-Z did not rape a child, okay? And he called the suit nothing more than a shakedown attempt against the rapper, whose net worth tops $2.5 billion. And that's according to Forbes. He says there isn't a specific number that has been demanded, but people like this, they don't send demand letters out to not get money. That's all they want. Now, the request was to sit down and talk about a way to resolve this matter, and we all know what that means. Jay-Z, whose real name is Sean Carter, has vehemently denied any wrongdoing since allegations surfaced that he drugged and assaulted the girl, along with disgraced rap mogul Sean Diddy Combs in September of 2000 as an unnamed female celebrity sat by and watched, according to documents. Now, the alleged attack unfolded as a drug-fueled after-party at a drug-fueled after-party following the MTV Video Music Awards at Radio City Music Hall in New York City of that year. Here's the question. Has Buzbee contacted? Because remember I told you guys Buzbee had something up his sleeve? Remember I told you guys I think Buzbee has something up his sleeve. In fact, I'm pretty sure he does. Has Buzbee contacted Celebrity B, the female that was alleged to have been there? Has Buzbee talked to this person? Has this person settled quietly behind closed doors? Has this person said anything? That's what we should be wondering. Okay, that's what we should be wondering. I have several questions. Hey, Queen Sam, I missed you. Listen, let me tell you guys something. One of my moderators had to have accidentally blocked Queen Sam, and I just happened to be looking through my blocked list the other day and saw her name in there, and I unblocked her. So let me tell all of you something. My loyal royals, those of you who don't behave badly in the chat, if you find that you're blocked and you know you didn't do anything, send me an email, because sometimes moderators might accidentally block the wrong person or just click something. Sometimes they've had their phones in their pockets or whatever. So make sure you send me an email so I can unblock you if anything like that should happen. Okay, so welcome back, Queen Sam. Now, with that all being said, I'm just wondering if he ever spoke with this alleged celebrity female who was supposed to have been there. Now, the alleged attack unfolded at a drug-fueled after-party. Spiro began playing footage from the recent NBC News report focused on the accusations before systematically picking apart the claims made on TV and the complaint filed in court against the rap icon. Now, he asserted that the location of the alleged rape does not even exist, saying key eyewitnesses do not exist. The timeline doesn't work. The story falls apart with implausible details, while slamming the complainant's lawyer, Tony Busby. Now, here's the thing. Let me say this in all fairness. You know, this young lady could be lying. Maybe she's mistaken. I don't know. But here's the thing. When they make the argument that there's no venue or there's no mansions 20 minutes away from Radio City Music Hall, because she said it was about 20 minutes. Here's the thing. She also said she waited for what seemed like a long time. When the limo driver was allegedly coming back to get her, she waited for what seemed like a long time. And then about 20 minutes later, she was 13 years old, supposedly, if this even happened. She would have been 13 years old. So She could have miscalculated the time. Also, she said about, so she didn't give an exact, time, specific time. She just gave an estimation. So, and he says there's no such location in New York, 20 minutes away from Radio City Music Hall. It doesn't exist. There's no such location. Now, we don't know whether they created a location in order to try to get jurisdiction in New York so they could bring this case to New York, or they just didn't do their homework. Any New Yorker knows there's no such location. Now, he pointed out that the suit says the house where the after party took place was owned by Combs, but said it in reality, none of the properties in the star's real estate portfolio remotely matched the alleged description. It could have been somewhere that he rented. He didn't have to necessarily own it. So the location doesn't work because none of this happened. Now, Spiro also shot down the notion that a female celebrity would have watched such a horrific crime and never breathe a word about it to anyone. I'm sorry, what? Does he not know what type of deviants there are in the world? What type of deviants there are in Hollywood and the music industry? I'm sorry, there are absolutely some people who would have sat by and watched. He says in 24 years, not a single witness has ever come forward saying this happened. Well, that's the same thing for Diddy. Okay, not a single person ever came in almost 3 decades to bring forth these type of allegations against Diddy. But as soon as Cassie did, here they all came. So she said that she was at this party, a 13-year-old girl, and she finds herself in a room with three most famous people at the party. Just think about how little common sense that makes, he says. And according to her, one of the witnesses is a female celebrity who's just standing there watching the repetitive rape of a child. That celebrity does nothing, says nothing, reports nothing. They won't even identify the celebrity. So he's calling cap. Spiro also pointed to the alleged victim's claims that she spoke to Good Charlotte guitarist and backup singer Benji Madden at the after party, which he said was not plausible given the band's touring trouble or touring schedule. Now, Mr. Madden wasn't there. He already said he wasn't there. His tour schedule says he wasn't there. None of this ever happened, he reiterated. This incident didn't happen, and yet he filed it in court and doubled down in the press. Jay-Z said in a statement, slamming the alleged victim in Buzbee, whom he alleged had filed a false complaint against him. So here's the thing. Now, somebody said yesterday, someone told me that the guy, Benji Madden, that Last Supper tattoo, that she says that she was talking to him about at the party. Somebody said he didn't even get that tattoo to 2007. Let me see if I can find out. Because if he didn't get that tattoo until 2007, there's problems. Now, while I'm looking for this, you guys, let's have a brief word from my sponsor at 12 Tribes.
Do not buy 12 Tribes on Earth hair growth oil and hair magic elixir unless you want super healthy, gorgeous hair that grows. They have a whole line of amazing hair growth products, including hair growth leave-in conditioner spray, hair growth shampoo, hair growth spray, and hair growth butter. I'm starting to sense a theme here. They include quality natural ingredients. They smell amazing, and you can see the results for yourself. So if you're looking for healthy hair growth for your natural or relaxed hair, try 12 Tribes on Earth today.
Hold on, you guys. Excuse me. I don't see any information as to when he got that tattoo. But that's a key question as far as I'm concerned. I'll have to look into that later. I'll have to look into that later. I'm talking to Benjamin about his tattoo. Okay, so anyway, we'll have to figure that all out because that is a key question because she was very specific saying that she talked to him about that tattoo. Now, if he didn't have that tattoo back then, there's a problem for Tony Buzbee. But let's continue. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Sorry for the interruption. I was just trying to find that receipt. Now, with that all being said, they say that true justice is coming. Okay. And asked by the Post how Carter is feeling, Spiro described the Empire State of Mind rapper who has 3 kids with his wife Beyonce as very upset. Well, who wouldn't be? You know, with these type of allegations, he's upset that somebody would be allowed to do this and make a mockery of the system like this. He's upset that this distracts and dissuades real victims from coming forward. He's upset that his kid and family have to deal with this. He's upset and he should be upset. Well, here's the thing. Let's not try to act like Jay-Z's concerned about victims. Okay, let's not do that. Let us not act as if Jay-Z is upset about victims, real victims, as he says. Because if he were so upset about victims, don't you all think that he would have come forward and issued something denouncing Diddy after all of these nefarious allegations were levied against him? Don't you think, even if he didn't believe it or didn't know if it was true, that he would have at least said something along the lines of, I don't, condone it if it is true. I hope it's not true. Or better yet, after seeing the video footage of Cassie being beaten from 2014, don't you think he may have come out and said something if he was, in fact, concerned about victims? He's not concerned about victims. Jay-Z knew what Diddy was doing. You don't think I know what my best friend's doing? You don't think that I know what my best friend is doing? And if my best friend did dirt, I know what dirt she did because 9 times out of 10, I was there with her when she did it, or at least she called me and told me about it. Okay? I'm just saying. So at the end of the day, he's full of crap. Now, mind you, me and my best friend's dirt didn't have anything to do with this. All right? It don't have anything to do with this. But I'm saying we all know that when our best friends ride, we ride for them. Not even just our best friends, our friends, period. Okay? We ride with them. They're like, I'm gonna get that so-and-so. Well, let's go. Let's get ready. Let me get my shoes. Get my Vaseline. Y'all know the kind of stuff I'm talking about. You know what your friend's dirt is. Okay? You were either with them, having their back, or they told you about it later. That's how that goes. So they can sit down somewhere, and let us not forget that I believe it was Dawn Richard, and we're going to talk about her in a second. I believe it was Dawn Richard who said in her lawsuit something about, or was it Cassie? It may have been Cassie's lawsuit, but one of those lawsuits said that Beyonce was there. Do you all remember that? Once in the chat, if you remember, when there was an incident with Diddy and Cassie, either he was saying something crazy or whatever, but there was some incident with Diddy, and I want to say it was Cassie, but it was noted that Beyonce was there present. So if Beyonce knew things were going on, because I think Beyonce may have spoken up for her or something, but if Beyonce, you all put one, so thank you. So if Beyonce was there and saw Diddy acting a whole fool, don't you think Jay-Z knew that Diddy had the propensity to act a whole fool, put hands and feet, paws, and all of that upon women? And if he knew that, I'm sorry, but Jay-Z, you knew the rest. Let us also not forget what Larry Johnson said just days ago about kids being at Jay-Z's party. So I'm sorry, Jay-Z, I don't think your hands are clean. Now, he may not have done this, but don't act like you're all for the victims, because I'm not buying it. If your friend, your very good friend, just a professional confidant, not just a business partner, someone that he was good friends with for decades, and you don't know that they did any of these things of which they've been accused, please sit down somewhere at the very least. And here's what you should ask yourselves. How is it that Diddy's former staff, like the chef, who said that she was forced to go around and serve people while they were naked at Diddy's party? That's what the chef said. Remember the former chef. Let's talk about how Mark Curry a former Bad Boy artist, how he said things that he saw and knew. Roger Bond, Gene Deal, all of these people were around Diddy. And I'm sure that Jay-Z was around Diddy a whole lot longer than they were. So you mean to tell me all these other people saw things and knew things, but Jay-Z didn't know anything? Now he's an advocate for the true victims. Jay-Z, I'm calling Cat. Now, mind you, Jay-Z and Diddy are both presumed innocent until proven guilty. All of these things are allegations, but what I'm saying is I'm alleging that I think Jay-Z absolutely knew what was going on and that he is absolutely not an advocate for victims. That's all I'm saying. But let's continue, because Diddy faced a huge loss. Yep, he did. And I knew it was coming. Okay, the judge is saying, the judge has ruled as it pertained to the feds having leaked that video footage of Cassie and Diddy. Remember, Diddy's team was saying that the feds leaked it, and which in all fairness, they probably did. From the beginning, I thought that the feds would in no way do that, because I said they can't be that stupid. Don't they realize they could damage the case and, Diddy could get off on some type of technicality? I said that I think maybe Cassie's attorneys did it to show what kind of person Diddy absolutely is behind closed doors, and also to give credence to Cassie's accusations in the event that she has to go and testify if he got indicted. Remember, I told you guys that because I said otherwise they might try to paint Cassie as an unindicted co-conspirator. So maybe it was her lawyers. Everyone else was saying it was the feds. Maybe it was the feds. But at the end of the day, here's what the judge ruled. A federal judge has denied Sean Diddy Combs' request for an evidentiary hearing into claims that the government leaked tapes of the music mogul allegedly assaulting his former girlfriend for the purpose of harming his reputation. Now, on Monday, December the 16th, in an opinion obtained by a publication, Judge Aaron Subramaniam said Diddy has not carried the burden he's not carried the burden to prove that the government had been leaking sensitive material to the press involving or including the 2016 hotel surveillance footage of his alleged physical assault against Cassie Ventura at the Intercontinental Hotel. Goes on to say that as the Intercontinental Hotel video, as it pertains to that, Combs has not carried his burden to show that the government leaked it to CNN. This is what the judge writes. Now, Combs argues that the most likely source of the leak is the government, but he doesn't point to any sound basis for this conclusion. Let me tell you all this. Do you all not remember that it was said, maybe it was months ago after the video came out, that Cassie, too, was given a copy of the video? And that's why I think that Cassie's lawyers did. I told you all that months ago. But so anyway, the clip, which was released by CNN 5 months before Combs' September 16th arrest for trafficking, racketeering, and transportation to engage in prostitution, shows Combs grabbing Ventura by the neck before he threw her to the ground, kicked her, and dragged her down the hallway. Diddy's team accused the Department of Homeland Security of leaking the video to tarnish Combs' reputation in an October court filing. Here's the thing, though. So the judge is not only saying that he hasn't shown the burden of proof that they not only leaked the tape, but other information. He hasn't proven that they leaked anything else. Now, that's a little odd to me, because the New York Post has literally said that an anonymous agent, unless they were lying, gave them information about freak-off tapes, that they saw some of the tapes. They just couldn't tell whether or not it was consensual. So what's the judge talking about? Who told the New York Post that? Did they make that up? There was another publication, it was either CNN or the New York Post, that said right after the raids, that they found like 250 cameras or something like that. Said something pertaining to, or maybe that was in Rodney Jones's lawsuit, but it said something. No, I think that's what they said. They said something about the cameras that were found. They said something about the items that were in the houses, and they spoke anonymously. Now, it was reported that those were agents, or an agent at least, that said that. So why is the judge saying that there's no burden of proof? Are these publications lying? And if so, where are they really getting this information from? So anyway, let me continue. So Diddy's defense accused DHS of launching a 7-month smear campaign against Combs to undermine his right to a fair trial by leaking confidential grand jury material. Now, the leaks have resulted in damaging and highly prejudicial media coverage, particularly sensationalizing the investigation and the involvement of Mr. Combs' family in the filings, or this is what the filing says. Federal prosecutors denied the claims, stated in a letter to the court that they say they were not in possession of the video before its publication by CNN. Indeed, at the time of CNN's publication, the government did not possess any video of the March 2016 incident. Well, you know, they're probably telling the truth. They could be telling the truth because they could be telling the truth. So if the feds didn't leak it, then I have to go back to what I initially said, which is that I believe it was Cassie's attorneys. Okay. Marcus said, didn't the diddler apologize? Yes, he did. Moneyball said, point is, pictures don't always tell the truth. Yeah, that's true too. And in these days, video footage doesn't even always tell the truth. Not talking about the video with Diddy and Cassie, because that absolutely is the truth as far as I'm concerned. But if Diddy is smart, he will give Jay-Z up in the 13-year-old assault, enter into a witness protection program. Oh, you know, Diddy is not going to do that. Diddy is not. I don't think he would ever do that. I think Diddy is such a narcissist. First of all, he's never going to go in a witness protection program because that means he'd have to hide for the rest of his life, be somewhere unbeknownst to everybody. And Diddy's the life of the party. He wants to clear himself so he can get back out there and continue living his life, which that's not going to happen, sadly for him. But I don't think he would do that by a long shot. Now, you know, he could already be snitching. I don't know, but that all remains to be seen. Now, it goes on to say, Subramanian in his ruling concluded that the court once again reminds the government and its agents that if specific information comes to light that they leaked prohibited information, action will be taken. Here's the thing. The government better not be lying. Because if it's found out later on down the line after the judge has made this ruling that they in fact lied, Diddy's case is done. It'll get dismissed. How much you want to bet? So they better not be sitting up here lying, okay? And let Diddy get out of here. Now, he also added, and the court reminds the public that whether the government can prove Combs' guilt in this case will turn on the evidence presented at trial, not in a trial by newspapers. Combs is currently being held in Brooklyn's Metropolitan Detention Center. Okay, his attorneys declined to comment about the judge's ruling. That's a big loss for Diddy. That is a huge loss for Diddy and his team. He wanted so desperately to prove that the feds leaked that footage. You know, like I said, maybe it was Cassie's attorneys. So she didn't get dragged into this and they didn't try to destroy her during cross-examination. Okay, now that it's turned into a whole criminal case. Because if that tape hadn't come out, they could absolutely have badgered Cassie on the stand. They could have dragged her into it, accused her of being a co-conspirator, an unindicted co-conspirator, and all of that, and tried to act like she was a willing participant and she helped Diddy with all these things. I'm telling you that could have all gone down. Okay, but let's keep going. And I want to show you all something about Tony Buzbee too. I want to show you something about Tony Buzbee because Tony Buzbee still got a trick up his sleeve. Please pay attention. Now, with that all being said, remember how I told you guys days ago that Superhead, aka Corinne Steffens, aka Elizabeth Overstein, basically said that this is just the tip of the iceberg with Jay-Z and Diddy being accused. She said it's the tip of the iceberg. Well, guess who else said that? And this came out today. Sean Diddy Combs' allegations are the tip of the iceberg, says the lawyer for alleged victim Don Richard. So now somebody else has said this ain't nothing but the tip of the iceberg. Okay, there is more. A lawyer representing an alleged victim of Sean Diddy Combs has told Sky News that she believes the criminal case against him is just the tip of the iceberg, and there are hundreds more who may be too afraid to come forward. Lisa Bloom is representing singer Don Richard, now a former member of two groups formed by the rapper who has filed a lawsuit against him. Richard is one of dozens of people suing Combs following his arrest in September. Now, the 55-year-old is currently in jail in New York. So she says, I think this is just the tip of the iceberg, what we're seeing now. I think we're going to see a lot more accusers coming forward. The lawyer said that she had no doubt there are hundreds more people who have allegations of S assault, physical violence, threats, S trafficking, all against Diddy, as well as people associated with him, Jay-Z. This is what they're saying. Didn't I tell you all yesterday? Didn't I tell you all yesterday? Just remember you heard it here first. Didn't I tell you all yesterday? There's more accusations coming for Jay-Z. Okay, I'm telling you right now. There's going to be more accusations. Now, please pay attention. With that all being said, however, she says many alleged victims may feel scared or unable to speak out or think they have no rights after signing non-disclosure agreements. The criminal case against Sean Combs claims that with the help of some employees, he coerced and abused individuals for years and used blackmail and violence to silence victims. One of the top criminal charges the hip-hop mogul faces is a mounting number of civil suits with more than 20 filed thus far. She alleges that Dawn Richard says that she was groped and grabbed. Richard appeared on the TV show Making the Band, for which Combs was an executive producer in the early 2000s. She was a member of Danity Kane, a girl group formed on the show who signed to his label and later performed alongside the rapper in the trio Diddy Dirty Money. She accuses him of subjecting her to years of inhumane working conditions and threatening her life. She alleges that during the show, she and others were subjected to horrendous conditions. They weren't allowed to eat. They weren't allowed to sleep. They were locked in places and not allowed to leave. Remember when she was locked in the limo and had to call her father to drive about 2 hours to let her out? It's all crazy. Allegedly. She alleges that she was groped and grabbed by Sean Combs, that she witnessed him physically assaulting other women, that he restrained her, locked her into cars and other places, falsely imprisoned her, and it was just a really terrifying experience. Dawn Richard tried to speak out on behalf of other women that Combs was allegedly abusing in her presence. She was threatened and felt very fearful. Combs' lawyer says Richard's allegations are an attempt to rewrite history. They say there are false claims manufactured by a singer who has an album out and who's trying to get a payday. Isn't that what they say when every allegation comes out? Everybody's trying to get paid. They also say that if she had such a negative experience working with the rapper and producer while in Danity Kane, she would not have returned to work with him a second time with Diddy Dirty Money. Richard has spoken with the officers from the U.S. Department of Justice, according to Bloom. She believes there will be more criminal charges to come against Combs, as well as more civil lawsuits. She sat and answered questions, Bloom says. I assume other people probably have as well. So criminal charges could very well be forthcoming. I think there will be more civil suits as well. Now, Sean Combs is at the top of the pyramid. He was the one orchestrating everything, but those who helped him also need to be brought to justice. Yeah, they absolutely do. They absolutely do. We want to hold accountable anyone who's complicit, because to victimize people on this scale, where we're probably talking about hundreds of people, you can't do that alone. You have to have helpers. Yeah, and your friends have to know. Okay, your close associates and confidants, they have to know what's going on. They saw some of these things. They had to have seen it. Okay, now if I was sitting at my home, okay, hearing rumors about things for decades, yeah, the people that were right there in close proximity, they had to have known something. Okay, please pay attention. Now, with that all being said, people who actually saw incidents of abuse turned a blind eye and continued funding these events where these things happened. They should be held accountable, and we intend to do that in our case. So it's not just Buzbee saying this, it's Bloom too. Bloom says that she also expects other famous names to be brought up. People used to brag about going to Diddy parties. A lot of people were there. Maybe some of them didn't know what was happening, but surely many of them did. Being a celebrity does not mean that you're above the law, as some of them think. She's going in. Please pay attention. Please pay attention. Real Life says, yeah, I've been following this for years, from the Tupac incident since Kim Porter's death. Okay, like a PI. Exactly. And so if we've been following it for years and we've heard all these things, all these salacious details, please His friends, people closely around him, they knew something. Moneyball says Diddy is a slime ball. I don't put Jay-Z with Diddy. I can understand that, beloved, but I do. I absolutely do. Now, for now, the civil cases, because listen, here's the thing. Birds of a feather flock together. Just remember that. Birds of a feather flock together. If I know somebody who's doing the type of things of which Diddy is accused, I'm not anywhere in their vicinity. I'm not going to your parties. I don't want to do business with you. We're certainly not going to be hanging out together at games. And I'm not taking pictures with you, laughing, kikiing, and showing up at birthday party bashes. That's what I'm not doing. Jay-Z did all of the above. Okay, he did all of the above, and that's not alleged. We've got video footage of that. Now, for now, I'm not saying that he did anything nefarious, but he was hanging out with Diddy. Facts. Now, for now, the civil cases against Combs are running concurrently to the criminal case against him. The rapper has not asked for a stay, which would essentially freeze the civil cases. So she is aggressively, Bloom that is, says she's aggressively moving ahead with Rashard's claim. Now, from behind bars, the rapper, through his attorneys, has said that he is confidently standing on truth. Diddy, I don't know what you're standing on, but truth ain't it. Okay? Saying he's confidently standing on truth and looks forward to proving that in court. I look forward to proving Sean Combs' deposition in prison. This is what Bloom said. I look forward to taking Sean Combs' deposition in prison. For one thing, he can't say he's unavailable or out of town. Okay? All nefarious. And so with that all being said, so then we have Jay-Z upset over the allegations, of course, as who wouldn't be. His attorney going in, eviscerating Buzbee's case pretty much, and distancing Jay-Z from Diddy, basically acting as if they weren't friends. That wasn't a smart thing in my opinion. Okay, that was not a smart thing. Now, his lawyer is also saying that he expects for the case against him to be dismissed. He expects this case to be dismissed. So let's get into it. Lights up, everyone. Please like and share. I'm going to share my screen. Here we go.
Mogul's attorney fired back at the woman accusing him of sexual assault, raising questions about the events more than 20 years ago. ABC News Live anchor Lindsay Davis here with the story. Good morning, Lindsay.
Hey, good morning to you guys. Jay-Z's attorney is calling it all a sham. He says that some glaring inconsistencies in his accuser's story have come to light, and he claims that they're enough for the case to be dismissed.
Attorneys for rap mogul Jay-Z are doubling down on their defense this morning, calling recent rape allegations a sham.
It's not just that this story is a lie and that it's not true. It's provably, demonstrably false. This never happened.
The recently amended civil lawsuit, originally filed by a Jane Doe in October, identified Celebrity A as Jay-Z, whose real name is Sean Carter, claiming at a VMA's after party in 2000 that he and fellow rapper Sean Diddy Combs drugged and raped a 13-year-old girl at an after party. Both Carter and Combs have vehemently denied the claims. Jay-Z's attorney, Alex Spiro, is now highlighting what he says are inconsistencies in the woman's story. According to the lawsuit, after approximately 20 minutes, plaintiff arrived at what she believed to be a large white residence with a gate U-shaped driveway. Spiro disputes her account.
There is no such location in New York, 20 minutes from Radio City. It does not exist.
Spiro also claims this photo of Jay-Z at a VMA's after party at the Lotus Club is proof that he was at a different location from where the woman says the rape occurred. The defense says that no witnesses have corroborated her story, most notably her own father, who lived 5 hours away at the time. But the lawsuit claims that after leaving the party, the woman called her father to pick her up and that he arrived shortly before dawn. But NBC News reports that after contacting the accuser's father, he said, "I feel like I would remember that, and I don't."
You drove 10 hours to pick up your 13-year-old daughter in New York City. It's not something you would forget. It's not something that he did forget because this never happened.
Cops wanna knock me, DA wanna box me in, but somehow I beat them charges like Rocky.
The hip hop is already declaring victory in a statement, writing, "True justice is coming," adding, "This was over before it began." But Jane Doe's attorney, Tony Buzbee, has remained defiant, stating, as far as the allegations in the complaint filed, we will let the filing speak for itself.
Jay-Z has made it clear that he plans to fight this lawsuit and these allegations until the end. According to his lawyer, Jay-Z is upset that this distracts and dissuades from real victims coming forward. Meanwhile, the attorney for the accuser maintains that she remains adamant about her claim, guys.
All right, Lindsay, thank you for bringing that to us. Appreciate that.
Okay, so you all heard that. What do you guys think? What do you guys think? Rhonda says Jay-Z tells everyone not to believe their lying eyes. Okay. The Griff Dies Hard here says these attorneys are not doing Jay-Z any favors. I can guarantee you that they're screwing him, stretching that money train. Oh, of course they're going to do that, beloved. I absolutely agree with that. Belinda says maybe Celebrity B is talking to the feds. You know, that's what I want to know. What's going on with this so-called Celebrity B? Did she settle with the client or the accuser? You know, has she spoken to anyone? I have questions. Willard says, Queen, how can Jay-Z's lawyer say that the Texas attorney is paying people to go after Jay-Z is bullshit? Plus, Jay-Z, isn't Jay-Z's attorney law firm calling potential witnesses to pay them to lie on him? Well, you know what? I'm glad you brought that up because Tony Busby did say that, and he said that he has audio. Now, we haven't heard the audio, so we can't confirm, but I did read something to you guys last week that was allegedly a transcript from said audio saying that people were calling Tony Busby's victims or his clients, past and present, offering them money, trying to bribe them, you know, to file suits against him. And Busby seems to think that it was Jay-Z. Now, I'm sorry. I don't know if that's true or not, but what I do know is that the young man, Ramirez Satterway, and his godmother said that they were getting threats and harassment too, that the young man was shot at after filing the civil suit, that Jay-Z's family allegedly called them and was trying to get them to drop the case. Okay? So I think that Tony Busby is telling the truth about that. I don't think that he would put his license and reputation on the line to make up something. Connie says, all the evidence needed will be given to these attorneys. Time has arrived for the truth. Punishment will be granted. Absolutely. Okay. Lillian said he was telling us in his lyrics. Yes, he was. Thank you. I mean, in that song, Monster, I told you all, I read you the lyrics. Okay. And then last night, I told you all, someone else brought up those lyrics. Who was it? The young woman that allegedly had a 5-year affair, Nas's ex-girlfriend, her last name's Bryant, remember? She was talking about those lyrics too, where he said, grape your women and children. I'm sorry, who says that? Who says that? I know that rap is an artistic form of expression, but why would you say something like that about graping women and children? That just didn't, that didn't age well, is all I'm saying. That didn't age well. Real Life says, you remind me of myself, only I'm 69 and alert because I have and grandkids who are our future. Protect our kids at all time. And cause, thank you, beloved. Absolutely. That's what we need to do. Okay. Cookie says, please get the likes up. Yes, please get the likes up, guys. Jeff ATL said, this Joe Camel looking ninja did that ish. Okay, not Joe Camel. Randa said, yeah, Celeb B is definitely talking. See, and let me tell you something. Remember when I told you guys Tony Busby had something up his sleeve? That might be it. That might be it, okay? But I do think that whatever it is, it's going to be a shock for Jay-Z and his team. I told you guys, think he baited Jay-Z. Jay-Z is telling on himself when he made the statement, this is in the way of a real victim coming up. Who are the real victims, Jay-Z? Yeah. Very interesting when he said those things. I don't know. Marie says, I don't know, but I don't think, I don't expect the lawyer to say he did anything. Like you said, saying they were never friends is a lie. There's too many photos of them together. Exactly. Okay. So I find it all interesting. Amatula said, didn't he have a grape case before and beat it? Jay-Z? I don't know. Did he? Shira Pisces said he's not being accused of his lyrics right now. Well, we know that. That's common sense, beloved. Don't get sarcastic. We know he's not being accused of lyrics. I just said that the lyrics are a hot mess and that who writes that, okay? Who writes that? We're not saying he's been accused because of his lyrics. He's being accused because someone came out and said that. Now, we don't know whether it's true or not. All I'm saying is having those sorts of lyrics doesn't do him any favors. It didn't age well, is my point. And she said, I don't think there's a female witness. Well, there may not be one. That all remains to be seen. Listen, if you guys don't agree with what I'm saying, that's all fine, but don't get a little attitude and get mad at me because I'm going to give my opinion just like you're free to give yours. Okay? Thank you. We can agree to disagree. I told you guys, you don't have to agree with me, but I'm going to say what I want to say because this is my channel. That's how that goes. I believe Jay-Z did pay an accuser off years ago. Okay, thank you, beloved, for that information. I'm going to look into it. Okay, so now let's go to Tony Buzbee, honey, because I want you all to see how Tony Buzbee operates in the courtroom. I have some courtroom footage of him, right? And because, you know, some people think that Tony Buzbee is one of those attorneys who just settles and never goes to court. But here's him working in the courtroom.
Yeah, I think so.
Did he have a burner phone, by the way?
You know, someone mentioned that to me at one time.
Who mentioned that? You read about that in the newspaper?
No, I don't think I read about it in the newspaper. It would have either been Mr. Wicker or Mr. Rylander.
Mr. Ricker didn't mention it to you because he was questioned. He said he didn't know what a burner phone was. No. Who told you that he had a burner phone?
Again, my best recollection would have been Mr. Wicker or Mr. Rylander.
Did you ever see a burner phone?
I know the Attorney General had several phones. I don't know, you know, what a burner phone.
You know what a burner phone is. This would be a burner phone. You can go to 7-Eleven, you can buy it, you use it for a certain amount of minutes, you throw it in the trash. That's called a burner phone.
Okay.
You ever see Ken Paxton with a burner phone?
He had a flip phone.
Did you ever see a burner phone? One that he bought at 7-Eleven so he could do some sort of illicit business?
I don't know, sir.
Okay. How about a secret email address? You ever see him with a secret email address?
He had a Proton email address.
Didn't you have a Proton email address?
I sure did, yes.
Oh, goodness gracious. So he had the same kind of email address that you had.
Okay.
We've been told that's a secret email address, but you had the same kind of email address, didn't you?
I think a lot of people had them.
Sure.
I think your co-counsel has one.
They do have it. You know why people use a Proton email address?
Because I know why we did, because we were concerned that Google might be monitoring our conversations. We were investigating Google.
Right. And also Ken Paxton and several others went to China and they wanted to make sure that their email did not get hacked, right?
Okay, correct.
But yet this board of managers, the House of Managers, claims that that's some kind of secret, weird thing to do. And everybody in the office was doing it. Isn't that right?
I don't think everybody in the office was doing it, but there were some, yes.
Sure. Now, back to your text. Just so the court is clear and the jurors are clear, your testimony is when you receive a text, if it needs action, you note it, and otherwise you delete it.
That's correct.
And you still do that now?
I do.
Well, the good news is Mr. Brickman didn't have that same practice. Let's look at what is marked and in evidence, AG 170. And Eric, if you don't mind, go to is Brickman 187. Let's put it on the screen so the jurors can see it. What we're going to look at, sir, is a text string that you were on with Brickman and several others, okay?
Okay.
I need you to speak into the mic, please.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Eric, let me know when you're ready. We go to 187, Eric. We're looking at it, AG Exhibit 170. $187. All right, here's a text you sent at 3:02 p.m. on 9/29/2020. Is that right?
That appears to be correct, sir.
And you said, we have a major problem. The kid has served a subpoena on a bank, showed up there in person at the bank. right?
That's what it says, sir.
And you were thinking in your mind, why the devil was he serving a subpoena on the bank? Nate Paul's complaint has to do with the FBI, right?
That was one of the things I was thinking, sir.
Because you had no clue that there had been a second referral, true?
I did not know there was a second referral at this time.
Is this the first time that you had found out that the kid, you're referring to Brandon Kamick, right?
I am referring to Mr. Kamick there.
And you didn't say, hey, Brandon Kamick, you said the kid. Everybody knew who you were talking about, right?
That's right.
Okay. So Kamick wasn't a surprise, was he?
Kamick wasn't a surprise in the sense that we knew who he was. That's correct.
Sure. And you actually got a copy of his contract too, didn't you?
At some point, I got a copy of the contract, but not through the DocuSign, no, sir.
Right. I mean, I know and we're going to talk about your bureaucratic procedures. What did you call it? Your executive action memo? What do you call it?
Executive approval memo.
Yeah,
memorandum.
executive approval memo.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
Some procedure and writing put in place of how things should work at the AG's office.
That's what it was, yes.
Right. It's in some policy manual.
It's a policy, yes.
Okay. It ain't the law, though, is it?
No, it's not the law.
No. The power of the Attorney General derives from the Texas Constitution. Is that not true?
From Texas Constitution and Texas law statutes.
The Constitution is what gives the Attorney General the power to act. Isn't that right?
The Constitution and the statutes passed by the legislature, yes.
Your power to act, if any, derives directly from the AG. Isn't that right?
It's derived from the AG, but it's also derived from the statutes.
Yeah. You're not authorized to take his name off his letterhead, are you?
Am I authorized to take his name off the letterhead?
I'm sorry? Is that a question? Or
I'm repeating your question to make sure I understand it. Could you restate it?
I can absolutely restate it. You, as deputy, as first assistant, are not authorized to remove your boss's name from his letterhead, are you?
I don't know if that's true or not.
Did you not look? I mean, aren't you a lawyer? Isn't that something you better look at before you do it?
I don't recall doing it, sir.
You don't recall sending correspondence with the Attorney General's name removed?
I do not.
You wouldn't have done that, would you?
By implication of your question, it must have happened, but I don't remember.
Oh, it happened. My question is that legal?
I don't know it's illegal.
Well, did you check before you guys were sending correspondence without your boss's name on it?
I didn't personally check, no.
Well, I thought you were a rule of law guy. Isn't that what you told us? I'm a rule of law guy.
I am a rule of law guy.
Okay, rule of law guy. Is it legal to send out correspondence without your boss's name on it? Official correspondence from the AG's office?
I don't think it's illegal, no.
You don't think it's illegal?
I do not.
Is that how you decide your legal analysis is by just whether you think it is or not?
No, it's supposed to be based upon what I believed and what I know about the law.
Well, what do you base that on? Why don't you
what I believe is, what I do recall is before I became first assistant, the prior first assistant, actually one of the complaints that the Attorney General had with the prior first assistant was that the original letterhead didn't have Mr. Paxton's name on it.
So you knew that the official letterhead, according to General Paxton, had his name on it. That's what he insisted upon, right?
Well, he insisted on it. I don't know about the word official.
Mm-hmm. And yet you were party to correspondence where his name was removed.
That I don't know, sir, but if you're saying that, then I must have been.
Mm. So let's make sure we're all clear that you did get the contract, because it's in the text even. Eric, turn to same exhibit, AG 170. Go to Brickman 180.
I think we've seen enough. I think we have seen enough, okay? All right, so it looks like he was in beast mode, clearly. Now, with that all being said, listen. Pensacola said now he has mental illness. Poetical Wind said hot seat, okay? Okay, now I can certainly see why he was voted Attorney of the Year in Texas, okay? So that all being said, Rhonda says one more thing. I believe this person was a plant from Jay-Z's camp. Once served with a demand letter, they used the person to come out and say this and turn around and prove Buzbee to be a fraud. You know, that's quite an interesting theory. That is quite an interesting theory, beloved. You never know. Sometimes truth is stranger than fiction. All I'm going to say is this. Most hated bronze flat part God said he's definitely good. Yeah, he is. Okay, so anyway, I'm going to conclude this broadcast. Listen, I hope you all enjoyed this. Queen Sam said, I love when one lawyer goes in on another. I do too. I absolutely do. Nia said, I don't think Buzbee is a fraud. Yeah, I don't either. I thought he was a little sketchy at first. But I think Buzbee's a whole lot smarter than some people think. Okay, and he's got some tricks up his sleeve is all I'm saying. So Diddy better look out. Diddy better look out, because let's not forget, this case right here with the 13-year-old, that's just one case. But there's a whole bunch of other people that he's representing that have allegations against the diddler. So Diddy needs to sit down somewhere, because it looks like he's in for the long haul. Okay, it looks like he's going to be in for the long haul. All right, so listen, I hope you all enjoy the rest of this beautiful day. I'll be back later with another broadcast. This time, I'm really going to do part 2 of that previous broadcast about the blood magic and the vampires of Hollywood. I was going to do it last night, but y'all wanted me to talk about drones, and so I did. Okay, but we'll get into that. All right, Luna says, I enjoy seeing you always, Queen. Thank you, beloved. All right, Troy said, great broadcast, Queen. Thank you, beloved. Hold on, who said bye, wig? That's my line. That's my line, beloved. Okay, so anyway, you all enjoy the rest of this beautiful day. Each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Okay, do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. And always remember, beloveds, to keep the Most High first in your lives. Peace. Thank you, Truth Brown.
Gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen. Why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunsa. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations, America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. See a bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all at Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threats. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece. This time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got